So Don, I came out and I saw the bus was at a weird angle. I thought I was out of it. This week, we embraced reaching out for a little help.
Oh, a little bit cleaner there.
We had the bus checked out and got mostly good news.
And new brakes and new drums. Wow.
And found a couple of issues.
Ooh, what's going on here? Uh-oh.
I got to visit a steel warehouse and get some custom steel for a bus project.
All right, now you've been working on our bus. Well, I'm happy too.
And we're still racing to see if it's even possible for us to leave before winter comes.
But moving along to make the bus livable as soon as possible.
It's just really a race against time and the weather.
We're Mela and Don.
We uprooted our lives and left Los Angeles
with the dream of converting an MCI D3 40-foot bus into a tiny home on wheels. We are sharing our progress.
One bite at a time.
What?
How to eat an elephant one bite at a time.
We knew it was time for us to get some scheduled maintenance done on the bus, and we were super lucky to be able to reconnect with a mechanic that Don met really early on in our bus search.
It's about 8 a.m. I'm up and moving. We got a guy coming to help us work on the bus. A little over 2.5 years ago, I flew out here to the Midwest. Went to look at this silver bus. Really loved the bus. It was an MC12. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of rust on it, a little more than we wanted. However, the owner of the bus hooked me up with this mechanic, Joe, who's here today. And Joe's been great to talk with about questions we've had as we've been working on the bus. And he's coming out to do some just basics that we wanted to do so we could get on the road, like oil change, checking the filters, changing filters, things like that. I also got a ton of questions for him because we've been doing a lot of work that I'm not a qualified mechanic to be doing, like pulling out the AC and all that stuff. So it's gonna be great to go over all of that with him and get some input, make sure that we're not damaging anything and that we're in good shape to get on the road. First order of business, we're gonna put our brand new batteries in. Nice to not have batteries that just die on us all the time.
Get that done.
Great.
And then we'll mount that back in there like it's supposed to. So the batteries ain't, you know, flipping and flopping all over the place. Two things, it cleans and protects too. Just spray a little bit on there. Don't need a whole lot. Spray it on there and that'll it'll keep them clean and keep them from getting, you know, any corrosion or anything. You need to know where these fuses are in case you ever get into an issue. A lot of these fuses here are for that heater in the back we talked about. These guys up here are really important right here.
Okay.
You got A-Tech, W-Tech, that's your transmission computer.
Okay.
Fuse, 15 amp. So if you ever have something going on with the transmission, like no power going to the shift pad, check that fuse.
Okay. Now we're trying to learn everything we can about our bus, maintaining it, keeping it in great shape. That's one of the reasons we wanted to bring Joe out. I could watch him, work with him, and get a better understanding. Now there's a lot of other great resources on YouTube for working on buses, but we wanted to have somebody hands-on so we could get some first-hand knowledge.
So we got two jacks under here, should be pretty safe.
So Don, I came out and I saw the bus was at a weird angle. I thought I was out of it, and then you told me, no, the bus is actually jacked up. How did he do that?
He actually had a couple 20-ton jacks, and because of the positioning of the bus, and we don't have a pit, obviously, he just jacked up one side so that he'd have room to get up under there.
Yeah, I thought I was just like a little out of it. The bus was like feeling a little wonky to me.
Yeah, it was completely crooked.
Alright, so, okay, so take a peek while we're under here.
You pull these filters, are you going to be able to get a little idea of how they look? Any info from the engine?
Well, on the plug, I will be able to, and what hits that pan at first.
Okay.
Usually, if there's any little metal particles, you'll hear it hit that pan. It'll go ting, ting.
Okay.
You know, not so much a ting, but like a plastic ting. You'll know. But these motors really hold up really well. If they've been took care of, man, I mean, these are really good motors. Oh yeah, not too bad. Let's see what comes out of this bad boy. Didn't hear anything. It was quiet. Let's see what the plug looks like. I mean, that's pretty clean, dude. I mean, look at it. I mean, even the oil itself looks really good. Smells good too. Doesn't smell like diesel fuel or nothing like that, so that's good. No coolant or nothing in it, so that's even better. Sometimes you get diesel fuel in it. You got like an injector seal leaking or something like that. You'll smell it really bad. It's clean, man.
It's the finger diagnostic?
Yeah. That's extra for that.
Do I need to cough?
Yeah. Oh, it's smooth in there, man. It feels good. Yeah. Because sometimes you'll stick your finger and you'll get like a lot of grit and stuff like that. It feels really good in there. I mean, these are things that I just do and know, you know.
Oh, no. I mean, you know, that's what happens when you got, you know, 40 years experience.
Yeah, I mean, little things you learn, you know what I mean? It's like, you know. Oh, God, it's got new brakes on it. Wow. Yeah, it's got brand new slacks. It's got good shocks. Yeah, the brakes are brand new, man. Wow. Wow, somebody spent some money on this.
So the next thing we did working on our bus is get brand new oil. I had no idea this engine needed so much oil. We changed out our oil filters and then put 8 gallons of oil in the engine. Start it up, let it get warm, and then we could check to see what the level was. See, what we're doing is filling up the air tank streams. As you can hear, we've got the bus going almost there. We do have a couple little air leaks already that we need to contend with, but this will be able to check some of the important things. Maybe we'll talk to him about changing that damn buzzer out. After checking the level, we went ahead and put another gallon in, so we got a total of 9 gallons in this engine. That's a lot of oil.
It gets cold outside, man. It takes forever to get the oil in these engines. Let's go grab our fuel filters.
Okay. Now there's 2 fuel filters for this Detroit Diesel 60 engine that we have. The secondary filter came off easily. One there.
There's one right here. That's true tight. I had one the other day. I had to use a breaker bar on. I crushed the whole thing. Not crushed it in, trying to get it off. Watch yourself. It drips quite a bit. That'll just add to my perfume of antifreeze and diesel. Looking for water or dirt or anything coming out. Oh, there's a little bit of water there. I can tell it's water because the fuel changed color when I poured it out. There's not a whole lot in it, but there's some in there, you know what I mean?
Yep. Whatever we can do to keep this thing healthy.
Right. Okay, so we got that one on that.
Primary fuel filter, when we went to remove it, we found out there was a problem.
Ooh, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Check this out, Don.
I see that.
The filter's broke. You're going to need to get a fuel filter housing.
The primary fuel filter is broken off of its mount, and so it's just floating around.
I'd like to go ahead and try to get it off, but I may need some assistance of holding that bracket, trying to spin this off.
Gotcha. So that's a piece that we definitely going to have to replace. Yeah, see how you have to dent it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've been able to get in touch with Detroit, the company that makes the engine, and they've got some parts locally. We'll hopefully get it in the next couple weeks. We also needed to change out the air filter here, and boy, was it filthy.
Definitely been dirty for a while.
Oh, a little bit cleaner there.
Just a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Having Joe there to go over our bus was like going to bus school. It was nice to hear about the parts of our bus that are in such great shape.
And new brakes and new drums. Wow. That is crazy, man. And new brakes, new slack adjusters. Looks like somebody just greased it too. Did somebody grease it?
2 years ago.
Well, it's still got plenty of fresh grease.
And to learn about places where we had problems before we get out on the road.
Oh, we got a flat tire too.
Yeah?
Yeah. See how I'm hitting and it's shaky?
Yep. Now, one of the things I was the most worried about when we bought our bus is all of this black liquid that was pouring out of this area. After talking to Joe, he quickly assured me that this is the power steering, and the power steering fluid, which is a transmission fluid, just gets blown out if there's too much of it because the pressure builds in there. He went ahead and pulled and drained some of it out for us, and now it should be at the right level, and now we're able to see a little bit of silver through our eyesight and make sure there's enough of the fluid in there at all times. Hopefully it won't be blowing out anymore on the engine or on our mini split once we get it mounted, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Now, there are a few other things that Joe recommended that I wouldn't have thought of, like buying a few little spare parts like the oil cap plugs just to have on hand in case they fly off while you're driving down the road. Overall, I think having him come out, being able to spend the day with him, completely worth the cost, the time, everything. Just getting to know more about our bus so that we'll be more prepared to keep it in great shape as we travel. I feel really good about being able to drive the bus off whenever we actually can do that. As far as the mechanics of the bus, but the rest of it is just really a race against time and the weather.
It's a race, though, that we don't have to win. As much as we want to be able to get the bus done by a certain time, it's okay if it's not.
Just have to be okay with having a plan B. And right now, we've got a pretty good plan B.
But moving along to make the bus livable as soon as possible, next up on the agenda, plumbing.
You basically need to connect this back into this.
Pulling out the bus's original air conditioning is all part of a larger operation, Operation Plumbing. We got here our coils, piping for coolant, we got air, we got electric, we basically got all kinds of stuff going on. So I think we know what we're doing. It's just going to be a matter of figuring out how to physically removing each piece. Dad found these wrestling mats up by the high school in the recycle area. So now I know where I learned how to scavenge. We've got this lip up here. It's just a metal piece, a false ceiling. We're gonna rip it out because then we want to have access to above there. That's where all of our plumbing is gonna live. It's all riveted up with a couple screws. I was able to get most of them off. Most of the rivets, unfortunately that ruins a drill bit for me, but looks like it's getting close to coming out now. Oh, this thing is glued, riveted, screwed up in the top. I'm gonna have to get the multi-tool out. All of these wires are hanging down in the way. It's a lot of copper. I hate to cut them, but I'm not sure of any other good way to get them out right now. now that I got this piece removed, we can look up in here and we get a little bit better idea of what we're really dealing with as far as space for plumbing. Looks like we got a good amount of clearance. You could see there where our shower drain is for our bathroom. And over a little bit further this way is where the bathroom sink is gonna come down. So I'm thinking about tying everything into that drain so everything meets up underneath the bathroom sink. I don't know, I'm not a plumber. What do you think? Good idea? Bad idea? Making a little progress. I got one of those fiberglass fan mounts out just by screwing out the rivets. Used the multi-tool to get the glue out and popped it out. Whoa, whoa. It's still coming out. Can. Sit there from that. Yeah, things here are attached to it. That's what's holding it, see? It's to take apart most of the stuff for the air conditioning units without damaging it. This, I think, is the most expensive part of the entire AC system. I could be wrong. I think new it goes for like $5,000. So it may have some resale value. So we want to be really careful about pulling it out. And we're going to try to actually take it apart the way it's made to be taken apart without doing any sawzawing or cutting anything. If we can do that, I'll be very happy because I'm sure somebody down the road is going to need one of these coils. It might have held. We could have started the engine and tried it, but we really just weren't feeling like enough of the tubing had gone in. The bus running now. It ran for about 15-20 minutes and we didn't have any leaks, and now we've got a tiny leak, and any leak is a problem. I'm back here planning the mini split mounts. And we're gonna have one mini split right here, and it's gonna mount back in this luggage bay. However, we found a great way to do this watching LaCroix Cruiser's video, where they've actually created a mount that swivels and pulls out of the way, and that's ideal because we want to be able to let myself or professional mechanics in there to have access to service the engine. For the metal we need to build out our mini split mounts, I was thrilled to connect with my old friend Jerry, who offered to donate some steel to the bus build. Jerry and his wife Polly have been following along on our bus build and invited me up to tour his steel distribution company.
Various grades of steel, and we have them color coded.
It was really cool to learn about all the different kinds of steel they have.
Stuff here, which is a medical grade.
Okay.
If you have any kind of stainless steel that is a medical device or one that is going inside your body, that's what this is.
Really?
Yeah.
So this steel right here will end up in somebody's hip or something.
It very well could, yeah.
And I got to watch Jerry cut some of the steel for our custom plates we'll use in the bus.
All right, Jerry, now you've been working on our bus.
Well, I'm happy to.
I was pretty fascinated by these steel cutting machines. And they have this one machine that's huge. And now we've got enough steel to put together the mounts for our mini splits.
Definitely feels like a luxurious shower.